I played Gran Turismo 1 when I was a kid, but didn't care for it because I was stupid. I was used to Mario Kart and Speed Freaks. So naturally, when I played Gran Turismo, I was like, why can't I take all these corners at super high speeds? This is rubs. Now though, I am old and boring and like sim racing games, so I picked up Gran Turismo, and I'm so glad I did. I'm not an expert on sim racing games, but I have found GT7 to be one of the best racing games I've played. So if you're on the fence, buy it. Close the video, but it does have some baffling choices that just stop the game from being perfect for me. GT has an interesting take on a traditional racing game campaign in the form of the Cafe, or CAF if you're a Cogner. This basically teaches you every element of the game whilst giving you a collection of cars as you progress. You also get nice history lessons on them as you go. Like I said at the start, I'm old and boring now, so I found them interesting, but it just shows how passionate the team are about motorsport. You also have to pass license tests as you go, which are like mini challenges that teach you the mechanics of driving. They can get quite hard, especially if you're going for gold, but they are a great teacher. I think what GT7 nails to perfection is the feeling of driving. Every single car feels different, and tuning them also changes them dramatically. Every bump in the road you feel, and taking a corner just feels so good. You get a great sense of weight depending on the car, it's unreal. The AI is also pretty good. They don't just drive perfectly all the time, they actually cock up, take corners wide occasionally so you can take advantage, just like real people. Though they can be a bit stubborn to move out of your way sometimes on the overtake. The majority of races against the AI have rolling starts, and you always start in last place, even in tournaments when you have come first in the previous race, and on some tracks the AI in first place is halfway around before you've even started. It just makes races feel like chases, and grid starts are in the game, so I don't know why they aren't used more. There are tons of assists you can turn on and off, and with how well the game teaches you, it's super accessible, and it's not that difficult anyway. It's just a slightly annoying disadvantage you have to go through every time. There's 400 cars in the game, but a lot of them are different models and variations of certain cars, but still, 400 immensely detailed cars, both inside and out, is nothing to sniff at, and you can customise them both visually and performance-wise. The livery editor is pretty robust, and the visual parts are as well. Also, if you're not very creative with that stuff, you can download other people's liveries and whack them on your car, and even some people let you edit them. As for the performance tweaks you can make, there's tons of parts to put in your car, and there's a lot of little tunes you can do as well for the perfectionists, and it's nowhere near as intimidating as it sounds. The game clearly explains what each part does and how altering its characteristics will affect performance, so you'll be fine. There's 90 tracks as well, with different weathers and times of day to race in, and rain can really alter how you race whilst also looking immense. When it's night and raining, cracking stuff. Hard as well. You can't have a go at the game for having too little content. There's a mode called Music Rally, which is essentially a time trial against a song from the soundtrack. It's fine, but I don't really get it. The soundtrack has good variety, but I'd choose my Spotify playlist any day over it. Weird mode. The multiplayer has some really neat ideas that I love. You have a typical ranking system, which is your driver rank, but you also have a sportsman rank. This is based on how cleanly you drive. So if you go around ramming people off the track and smashing into walls all the time and just in general being a dick, this will go down, and your driver rank will not go up until you get your sportsman rank to a better level. It just makes for a much better environment for people to play in. Coming from Forza and being sick of my own teammates ramming me off the track, it's a breath of fresh air. I should say though, as good as an idea as this system is, it's not stopped a lot of rotting prostates from ramming, but I imagine they'll drop off the game pretty quick. There is another multiplayer mode called Sport that also has good ideas. Each day there are a few daily races people can compete in every 20 minutes or so. You can do a time trial in each one in order to be matched with people close to your time. This is done in order to give you a competitive and fair race. Good idea on paper, but I tried to exploit it by doing a really slow time trial so that when I got matched with slower players, I could dominate them, and it worked. I know that makes me sound like a bitch, but I did do it for review purposes, and I've definitely seen people in these races who have done the same thing. When it works as intended though, great stuff. stuff, and the multiplayer servers actually worked on launch, which is surprising in this day and age. Now though, we come on to the microtransactions. The reward money in the game isn't stingy, but it isn't generous either. You get more as you progress, but upgrades get more expensive as you go, but you have the option to buy money from the PS Store. You could say it's paid to win because races have loose restrictions. Most of them you only need a car from a certain country and above a certain performance level. So if you've bought a supercar with top upgrades and the rest are driving Peugeot 206s, it's likely you'll win no matter how badly you drive. And I don't know if there's anything stopping people from doing that in the multiplayer, which is where it'll be the most egregious. Shame really, because the game is so good and then they wipe their bums with it by putting this fecal matter in it. Oh yeah, and you have to always be online to basically play the game, which I know pisses a lot of people off, and fair enough. The game looks and sounds immense. The detail in the cockpit view is unreal and the engine sounds are filth. I understand why Jeremy Clarkson does that face when cars go through tunnels. You even hear the rain pelting your car as you drive. I'm on the PS4 Pro and it's still stupidly impressive, so I can only imagine how good it looks on a PS5. Overall phenomenal game, one of the best racing games out there that a lot of you will enjoy. It's clearly made by a team that have a massive passion for motor racing and it shows. Just a shame their corporate overlords have a passion for fucking money though.